Greetings. This is Russian Minister for Culture, Sport, and Dissident. Don't worry, I am not going to hurt you. Yet. Once again, arrogant, decadent military-industrial complex imperial Western countries to ban all Russia products. I say, it's your loss. What are you doing without vodka? How Englishman will drink Red Bull then, on its own? Ha! It's make me laugh. So, as podcast for picking best player to scoring points in incorruptible English Premier Football, I say, pick Timo Werner of glorious Abramovich Team of Glory. Of course, it's your choice, nobody force you. Just try not to get polonium 210 in conflicts if you don't. До свидания, nerds.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
You are listening to episode 66 of FPL Bros, and we're just going to do a quick review of our Game Week 27 and maybe just give some of our first thoughts, initial thoughts on the new Leeds manager, Jesse Marsch. Is that how you pronounce it? Do you know?
I think it is.
Jesse Marsch. Yeah. Okay then. And you know what? For the graphic for this episode, I was going to do a picture of Liverpool winning the League Cup, but then I thought, Liverpool. Folks, I'm just joking. Your League
that game was tense.
Yeah, unfortunately I couldn't watch it, so I listened. I saw the updates on the BBC, especially the penalty shootout.
It was a good game. There were a lot of goals, even though a lot of them were disallowed. There were a lot of chances, even though a lot of them were missed.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think a draw was the fair result because both teams actually played really well. It's made me realise how much of an asset Chelsea defenders are going to be in the coming weeks, but we can speak to that later. But ultimately, it came down to the kickoff, and Kepa came off the bench and did his job, which was to once again make sure Chelsea lose.
that is an event that is going to go down in history.
Yep.
Came the penalty shootout, and he's the reason they lost it. But yeah, you're right. Chelsea are looking very good at the moment. The defenders probably more so, but we'll get on to that.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
So let us have a look at how we did in Game Week 27. You want to kick off?
So I did fairly well, actually, surprisingly. I think I recall saying that my two picks for captain would have been either Son or Sterling. Because I didn't have Sterling, I was quite tempted with Foden or Son. I ended up going with Son, and he rewarded me quite well. I was waiting for that goal. As soon as he got the goal and came off, I was like, thank God. So I finished with a total of 64 points, which was fairly good for that game week.
Smashed it.
And yeah, Son was captain. Foden obviously returned. Livramento got some bonus points. Walker Peters got the most bonus points, and I think we kind of said he was a good asset. And yeah, like my defenders all had clean sheets, so I'm really happy.
Smashed it. Absolutely smashed it. Yeah. In contrast to myself, basically I saw this week as the week to take my medicine because I stocked up on Liverpool and Arsenal players, and so I had to rely on my bench, which was no good. Manquillo, no points. Rugulians also got me no points, and I'm not sure what's going on there, but the fact is he's just not a reliable pick for all that money. He's not reliable. Apparently he is fit, but for some reason Conte didn't want to play him. So another.
Rightly so.
Yeah. So my terrible game week. Eduard also didn't play, and that was a risk I was willing to take because generally when he comes on, he does really well. But if he doesn't
Yeah.
come on, it's a big fat zero. So points from Cancelo, points from Livramento, points from Ben Foster, and that was pretty much it. Everybody else blanked. I finished the game week with on a 43 minus 4, which is 39, which is like what, one below the average. And yet I knew it was going to be bad. It could have been worse. So, I'm taking it on the chin.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
So, with this coming game week, we've got some double fixtures. Can we speak to those?
Yeah, real quick.
Cool. So we've got 6 teams playing double fixtures. So you've got, by scrolling to the end, you can actually kind of see it. You've got Southampton, Newcastle, Wolves, Watford, Leeds, Villa. I've said it in the order of them playing each other, but all these 6 teams actually have double game week fixtures that week. So what would you say maybe are 1 or 2 teams that you quite like the look of this week? I know we don't kind of swear by double game weeks, but sometimes it can be a no-brainer. Like last week, people who didn't captain Salah at home to the teams that concede the most goals in the Prem. I mean, triple captain Salah. It's just a no-brainer, isn't it? Would you say?
Yes, a term that gets thrown about an awful lot, but I think in that particular case it applied. Okay, I have to admit they don't exactly jump out to me. I would cautiously look at Southampton and Wolves, but the problem with those teams is that they're quite inconsistent. It would be nice if you could pick Jimenez, but he got benched last week, and so you have to kind of cross your fingers and hope he plays. With Southampton, Adams is actually starting to look good. People have forgotten about him. It was all about Ian Breyer, but Adams is looking good, and I think his numbers are good. So he's definitely worth a look. And then the usual suspects of Kyle Walker-Peters and Livramento. But sometimes Southampton play really badly, and it's the same with Wolves. Leeds, we don't know quite what we're going to get. Let me know what you think anyway.
I quite like the look of Wolves. I know Jimenez got benched, but I think they are in decent form, but they lost to Arsenal. They've done pretty well at home. Yeah, I quite like the look of some Wolves players. But once again, I don't think I'd captain anyone from the double game week. If I had a free transfer, I'd probably bring in a Southampton defender. So if I don't already have Livramento or Walker-Peters, I'll bring one of the 2 in. And yeah, I don't think I'd get a Wolves striker or attacker, but I might get a Wolves defender, one of the wing backs.
Yeah, or even
one of the full backs. Yeah,
want somebody who's guaranteed to play. Connor Cody.
Yeah, Connor Cody is a good shout as well.
Jose Sarr, is it?
Sarr, yeah.
Yeah.
Sarr's Watford.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Watford do have a double game week, so you could.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry. You mean the other Sarr?
Yeah, or Sarr, whatever the goal.
Sarr, yeah. Sorry, I know you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
The
Cool.
same Wolves also have a double. Sorry, not Wolves. Watford.
Watford also have a double game week. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, I know a lot of people were burnt quite badly last time round, but sometimes you shouldn't hang on too much to the past, and you never know what's going to happen. They might surprise us. The team hasn't improved a whole lot under Roy Hodgson,
No.
but they've still got some players who can turn it on.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Sarr, obviously, and Emmanuel Dennis, if people aren't too scarred by his red card.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Briefly, I just wanted to talk about Leeds and how we don't know what we're going to get. I've never really heard of Jesse Marsch before they signed the guy. I know he comes from the whole kind of Red Bull, also by Rangnick in his past. And a lot of talk that he is one of his people who like the 4-2-2-2. But of all the people who were supposedly famous for using it, Rangnick himself, and I think even Klopp used it in his early Dortmund days, Hasenhüttl is the only person who still regularly uses it. and it remains to be seen whether Marsch will be using it himself. Apart from that, he favours a high energy, aggressive pressing style, and the idea is to win the ball back quickly, high up the pitch in the opposition half, and then get the shots off as quickly as possible. So not too different from Bielsa in that respect. The only difference is that Marsch is more likely to use zonal marking, whereas Bielsa absolutely lived and died by man marking. And when we say man marking, literally the men would follow the marking all over the pitch. And it's quite possible that's what contributed to Leeds conceding 20 goals in 1 month. But I'm going to go out on a limb and say Marsch is going to start off a lot like Bielsa. There's going to be feast and famines, high scoring wins, but quite a few defeats as well. But they're not going to be quite as bad as they were under Bielsa. And I think the defence might tighten up a little bit, but he's still got plenty of work to do.
It's fair analysis there. I don't really know the guys, same as you, but I do think Leeds have a style of playing. I don't think that's going to change much. I don't think they're going to stop that exciting football they play or the attacking sense of football, but I think he is going to try and make sure things are a little bit more tight at the back, which is where Bielsa failed. And yeah, so that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the main problems Leeds have was Cooper being injured. Calvin Phillips was a big miss for them, and Bamford as well. So that's why I think that there's still going to be games where they might struggle to get 3 points. Having said that, I think Marsch is a lot more open to rotating the squad than Bielsa was, and we might, for example, see a lot more from that kid Gelhardt. I think he's only like 4.3 or 4.4, 4.5, so he could be one to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, nothing else in that sense. We could probably go to look at this week's fixtures, maybe look at 1 or 2 of those, and then maybe do player picks.
Okay, I'm in your hands.
Cool. I'm thinking about a fixture between Arsenal and Watford. Now, I haven't gone for the most interesting one to start with, but this, to me, this is always a big fixture because I feel like whenever Watford play Arsenal, there's always something mad that happens.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just feel like it's always an exciting game.
So your player to look out for would be...
So say that again?
Your place to look out for would be... Sorry, I'm going to shut up now.
Stop talking. All right. So Watford Arsenal, I think that's going to be an interesting game. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I can see Arsenal winning, but I think I can also see Watford scoring against Arsenal. So I think individuals, and I think you spoke on this earlier, people who've got Dennis might be a bit scared to be burnt. I don't think they should be. I think Dennis could get a goal against the Arsenal squad, but I don't think Watford are going to end up winning. And I do think players like Martinelli or what's his name? Saka, that's it. Saka will get on the score sheet. So I just think that's kind of my 2 pence on people who might have Arsenal players already. So yeah, that's probably my interesting game of the week. Do you want to pick one?
Yeah, I think that Chelsea v Burnley is going to be very interesting.
Oh, good choice.
Yeah, this week we just got a reminder of why Burnley at the bottom of the table. A lot of people went hard on Burnley defence.
Yes.
And they ended up with them conceding 2-0 against Leicester. Now, Chelsea, obviously, we've not actually seen them play in the league for quite some time, but we also got a reminder of why they're near the top of the table.
Yeah.
As you said, in the League Cup final. And although they don't seem to be blowing teams away still under Tuchel, I can see them coming away with something from their game against Burnley. There's just a lack of quality in Burnley, generally speaking. I was one of the people who captained Weghorst. He's a good player. He does an awful lot for Burnley, but the rest of them, they got into good positions. They were attacking in 2s and 3s on the break, and it just kept fizzling out against Leicester. And the longer it went on, the more you felt for them. So Chelsea. Again, defence looks like maybe the place you want to start. Rudiger, Mendy if you got the money. Obviously, Reece James is back, and that is exciting. But Tuchel himself has talked about easing him back in. He was out for quite a while. So if you want to throw your money on Reece James again, be prepared for the odd benching. That's all I would say. As far
Thiago Silva?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I was just going to say, as far as up front goes, really it's a lottery with Chelsea. You've got Havertz, you've got Ziyech, you've got Werner, Pulisic, you've got Lukaku. Don't be surprised to see all of them get rotated. Probably the most nailed attacker at Chelsea at the moment is still Mason Mount, I would say.
Yeah.
And
I would agree.
He's still value for money when you compare him to the rest. And, I've actually had him this season for quite a few weeks, and he's done all right for me. I think he's on corners. He takes an awful lot of them, and managers just trust the guy. So I would say if you are going to put money on a Chelsea attacker who you want to play most of the time, I can't see Mason Mount getting rotated that much. That's not to say he won't, but, I think he's the best of the lot, and I think Chelsea versus Burnley is going to be an interesting game.
Brilliant insight there. So before we go to player picks, I just want to make one more mention, and this is not an analysis, but Liverpool have just come off a high, winning the, what was it called?
But winning the League Cup, you mean?
League Cup, yeah. Carabao Cup is called now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Winning the Carabao Cup. And the opponents they're going to be playing this Saturday, West Ham, have just come off a 3-1 loss to Southampton. So not only have they come off a loss, but they've also played midweek and they've played their full strength squad.
Mm-hmm.
So I can expect them to be tired against a Liverpool team at home.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind, guys, when you are thinking about who to captain this week. That's what I was going to say.
I mean, Liverpool rested a lot of players against Norwich tonight, didn't they?
They did.
And
there was no Salah. Mane came on towards the end, maybe like 80th minute, I think, appearance. Same with Luis. Douglas. What's his name? Sorry. Diaz. Oh my God, my head is gone. Luis Diaz came on as well in the 85th minute. So I think that just kind of shows Klopp's intentions of who's going to start in the West Ham game, because Jota started this cup game. So
yeah. And also, Liverpool tend to do well against West Ham, I think. Or have I got that wrong? Even though West Ham are flying this season, I still think that Liverpool know how to do a job on them as good as West Ham are and have been this season. So all those factors in combination means don't forget about Liverpool. Just because there's a single game week this week, you should still have faith and perhaps think about them when it comes to captains. One other fixture I just want to mention, which I also think will be interesting. I can't call it, but Spurs v Everton. So you've got Super Frankie Lampard, who still can't keep clean sheets, and an up and down Spurs, whose up and down is just mad. They beat Man City, they lose to Burnley, and they lose to the Cup. They're just mad right now. And this is what worries me about Son and Kane. I can't predict when they're going to bang. And, it still makes me slightly nervous about bringing one or both of them in. Don't get me wrong, I'm still thinking about it, and their fixtures look okay. But it does worry me that every so often they put up a stinker, as Jamie would say. So look out see what's going to happen with that game. I can't really recommend anybody on the Everton apart from maybe Richarlison. DCL got rested in their last game. I don't know if he's going to play. And I think when he does play, he is on penalties. So perhaps him as well. Have they got Donny van der Beek? He's not doing
on Everton. Yeah, they got Donny.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Spurs v Everton is also going to be another interesting fixture. And who knows, perhaps it'll tell us a bit more about how those two teams' seasons are going to end. But look out for that one as well.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
Okay, do you want to do player picks?
Yeah, player picks. So I'm going to give my player picks. I'm going to just do the two. So this week, my first one is going to be Walker Peters. I think Aston Villa and Newcastle will struggle to score against Southampton. And even if they do, I think Walker Peters has a very good chance of getting bonus points or even assisting. So I know it's a bit of a wild one, but I do think he is a good player pick for this week, Walker Peters. My second one is going to be Martinelli. I think Arsenal playing a Watford squad who are not doing exceptionally well in the league at the moment. I think Martinelli's got a lot to prove at the moment as well. After that red card, he hasn't really done much. I can probably see him doing fairly well against that Watford squad that drew against United. So yeah, I'm just going for Martinelli and Walker Peters this week.
No, I think it's a good fixture for Arsenal. Okay, it's just the two from me as well. So I'm going to go with our cover star of this episode, Rudiger. I think Chelsea are going to get a result against Burnley. I've already gone into that, and he's practically the most nailed in there. And now and again, pops up with a goal as well. So you could do a lot worse. And then the other pick I'm going to go for, here's a blast from the past for you, but Willock. What's his first name again? Is it Joe?
Joe Willock.
Joe Willock, yeah, of Newcastle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it can be denied that Newcastle's form has improved immeasurably. I mean, they've managed, I think, with 3 or 4 wins out of their last 4 or 5 games, and they're finally out of the relegation zone, and it seems to be clicking for Eddie Howe. And I think we're going to see some of the form from Willock that convinced Newcastle to buy him in the first place. So he's a bit of a dark. Newcastle do have decent fixtures. I think they're also on a double. They've got Southampton, who aren't necessarily the tightest of defence, and they've got Brighton again, who seem to be wobbling a little bit at the moment. Maybe they're one of those teams who like to get on the beach early because everybody's always impressed with them every season, and then after they just kind of stop playing, don't they? And Newcastle, even though they're out of the relegation zone, they're still not quite out of danger yet. So they've got to keep the momentum going, and I can see them going for it in both games. This is their chance, against 2 teams who are a bit lower down at the table. This is their chance to pick up more precious points.
Nice, I like that. I like those picks.
Yeah.
You're all about to witness a monumental throwdown.
All right, then. So I think that's going to be it for this episode, unless there was anything else.
Nothing from me.
No. I just also want to say really quickly, I want to big up a very good friend of mine called Emmett, who runs his own radio show. I think it's called Clock and Over Sounds or something like that. It's on Mixer, and it is eclectic music. And basically, he plays everything from jazz to soul to funk to R&B to blues and rock. And if you just like music, straight up music from the past 50 years, it's a good show to listen to. The reason I'm bigging him up is because he was actually the inspiration for this episode's cold open. So I can't take any credit. I got it from him, and I've been biting his creativity. So thanks for that. And if you just like music and all kinds of music, go check out his show. But apart from that, if you're listening on YouTube, please hit subscribe, please hit like. It doesn't cost you anything. It helps us out, and we really appreciate it. And also, don't forget to check us out on Twitter at FPL_Bros. Have we got it right?
Yes, we have. Yes, we have.
Yes, we have. I want to know, particularly from Chelsea fans. I really do. I'm curious to know what you're thinking right now. So hit us up on Twitter. And yeah, that's it for me. And I'm just going to sign off and say bye-bye.
Peace out for me, guys.